Hi Virgo, this is your November 2018 reading. Virgo, in November, we are initiating a configuration that is going to carry you all the way till the first eclipse of 2019, the first major eclipse of 2019, which is happening on 21st January 2019. This is the configuration which I like to call brought to stardom with a lightning bolt, because that is exactly what it is. It brings you out of shadows, it brings you out of working behind the scene into suddenly into the light of the world, suddenly into the light of the world, in the sense where you can create a brand of your own. You are going to become a brand in over the next year and a half, which the society and the people that you interact with, the business networks that you work in, or the social networks that you thrive in will know and remember. You are sort of creating a legacy for yourself over the next year and a half, which is getting initiated in January. And all the steps that are happening right from October all the way to your full moon of February of 2019 are sort of mini conclusions of these checkpoints that are supposed to happen to make this successful, to make sure that this stardom is long lasting. The stardom is not like a meteor shower, but more like a fixed star, because a meteor suddenly dissipates into dust, right, when it touches an actual environment. So you're sort of kind of making sure that this dream survives the test of reality from now all the way to your full moon in February of 2019. That is sort of the overall theme that we are working on. For the last one and a half year, you've been working on something behind the scene. You've been nurturing a baby behind the scene. This is sort of your this is sort of a business or a project or a launch that you've been working on for a long time, which has your personal brand. It has your creativity embedded in it. It has your dreams embedded into it. And you have put in a lot of faith into it, because the last year and a half was about God's timing for you. It was about having faith in the higher powers. It was about having faith that I can't see the end of the tunnel. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm chipping away. And only Virgos can do that. You have been working at it with aplomb, hiding your talents to some extent, hiding your shine to some extent from the whole world for the last year and a half, because your basic nature is to make everything perfect before you launch it to the world. And now it has reached a point where we are sort of putting the finishing touches. In October, you had a full moon in Taurus at 1 degree. All the full moons from October all the way to first quarter of 2019 are happening at 1 degree. When a full moon happens at 1 degree, it means that we are completing something really critical for initiating something. So you are sort of you're sort of completing a process, you're taking a staged approach where you sort of ticking the boxes on various levels, and these are all happening at the top of your chart. So it is sort of with people outside you. This is happening with the people outside you. So you've started coming out slowly to the world. In October, it was about legalization of what you're doing. Legalization in the sense whether it is the visa process, it is the actual travel to make it happen, or an actual documentation of this new project that needed to be handled to make it look real, to make it set in stone, to sort of make it look like it is concrete and it's going to stick. Because it happened in Taurus, this is going to stick. Even though it happened suddenly and you went about it suddenly, you decided, no, it's time for me to sort of launch it. It is time for me to go ahead with it. And you sort of signed off on something in October. In November, it is about bringing it to the authorities for sort of approval, whether it is the authorities in terms of the industry champions, the people who understand this market or this brand well, or it is to actual authority. If you're working for somebody, it's about bringing it to the authority figures to sort of have a checkpoint. In December, it will be about testing with a set of people. You'll be testing it out with a social network, with a business network. In January, the next step of it would be sort of taking a step back, consolidating your resources, and being ready to have it out to the world. And then on your full moon in February, from 21st of January eclipse all the way to your full moon at end of February, you'll be launching your new baby. You'll be launching something that will have a brand that will be known for you, that will be yours. And it sort of has a family aspect to it, because you're sort of launching it with a set of people. This is about you creating your tribe. You're not just creating some product, you're not just creating something that is going to last for a few moments. You're creating a set of people who will work together and will be emotionally invested like you. You are emotionally invested in this dream, you're emotionally invested in this launch, and you would be bringing this out with a set of people who will be your family outside your family going forward. So while you're in process of that, and this is sort of an overview of what's happening from now all the way to February 2019, your full moon. So, what's happening in November is essentially you're starting a 3-week review of your home and family life. That is going to be a key theme for the next couple of days, because your ruler Mercury is going retrograde in your home and family life, and it's going to review. It's going to sort of ask you to relook, take a step back, and see what you're creating, and are your foundations strong enough to support that? Are you on the right path in the sense of being right with your family? Is your home and family environment supporting you well or not? Is the place in which you're living, is that giving you the peace of mind or not? If not, you're sort of going to be taking some steps when Mercury goes direct in December to correct that. But right now is the time to sort of take a step back, maybe even have certain discussions with your home and family in terms of figuring out how to resolve these conflicts, how to resolve these gaps. And the best day to resolve this conflict or these issues which will come up during the course of next couple of days is 27th of November. So I will request you to wait till 27th of November. You will be having a lot of discussions which will not be so positive, but they are required to be done right now. This is an aspect which is required to be handled. It is going to square you, which means that it comes with a challenge. It comes with a challenge. It comes with a harshness to some extent, but at the same time, it comes with an opportunity. This challenge comes with the opportunity that you would have a much authentic, much stronger foundation in terms of your home and family once Mercury goes direct in December. And December is beautiful for your home and family. Jupiter has moved into your home and family sector on 8th of November, and it will start giving its fruits. It will start giving its positivity. You will feel very supported after the cycle, but you have to go through this process of next 3 weeks of being honest with the people in your life, being honest with yourself as well as with others in terms of where are you not finding your peace of mind in your private life. It's not the time to sweep the issues below under the carpet, because Neptune is also retrograde. So you're seeing your committed partnerships very clearly. You're seeing the gaps in your partnership very clearly. And if we don't handle the gaps in partnerships that are being shown to us right now, they will hurt us once Neptune goes direct after November, because they will create certain deep-seated cracks, right, in our foundation, and you can't really build something solid on a cracked foundation. So it's absolutely the right time to handle it. Mars is also moving into your committed partnership sector. To me, this indicates a lot of focus on your personal life, a lot of focus on your committed relationship, especially your marriage partnership as well as your business partnership. There's a lot of focus to figure out how to make that conflict, how to make these issues that are there go away, and create some excitement, create certain positivity, because when you go through this cycle of sort of rebirth, a regeneration in your relationship, some excitement comes back, certain happiness comes back, certain new energy is infused into this sector when you handle it. And this is especially true in terms of us learning a lesson as well, because Neptune in our committed relationship house, Neptune is in your committed relationship, personal as well as business relationship house, and it's been there for a long time. The lesson of that is to love unconditionally to some extent, to love almost to a level of spirituality, to create sort of your relationship at a higher level, where it is treated different from anything, because Neptune creates something which is out of a dream. So the downside of that is that you have some certain expectation from that partnership, which are probably not grounded in reality to some extent. They are a little bit higher than what a real person can deliver on. But on a positive side, it creates an ideal, right? You have a vision of what a partnership should look like, a higher vision of what a partnership could look like. So even if a partnership comes to, I don't know, 70% of it, it's excellent. So I think we have to keep that in mind, that our expectation from the partnership might be very, very high. And second, that Neptune is currently retrograde, so you're seeing certain gaps clearly, which means we need to handle them. But just be aware that you might be seeing expanded version of those gaps right now. And they are being expanded so you can handle them right now, so you can deal with it right now. You're being given the tools and the opportunity to handle it as well. The third thing that it's teaching us is that you can't control your partner. You have to let go the expectation that your partner will behave a certain way, that your partner will be sort of this or that, or should be like you, or should be like this, because this aspect gives you a little bit of judgmental attitude. It gives you a little bit of it's judgmental attitude is the wrong way to say it. It's more like you see the gaps too much in the partner, and the expectation of the partner is to behave higher than anybody else. And you have to keep that in mind, that your partner has a script of his own, your partner has a thought process of his own, because of which they're behaving in a certain way. Whenever an aspect happens in a committed partnership sector, it's always about changing our point of view. Our partner is not the one who's going to change in that aspect. It's us and our point of view and our thought process about the relationship, which is being modified, which is being improved, which is being refined. But use this month to sort of air out the issues that are there. They need to be aired out while Neptune is retrograde till 24th of November. I really encourage to do that. There's a date on 18th of November. We have a good opportunity. There's a grand trine. You can do that on 18th of November, or otherwise you can do that around 26th, 27th of November, because these are good dates this month to do that. The good thing, the positivity that also comes apart from the fact that Jupiter is moving into your fourth house, which helps in the home and family sector. The other great thing is happening is that Venus, that rules all our relationship and just makes us feel good about ourselves, makes us create certain internal love, self-love for ourselves, is finally going direct on 16th of November. That reduces the amount of emotional hurt in relationships. It reduces the fact that we were so high on emotions in terms of our relationships. It sort of moderates that down and lets us intelligently handle the issue, logically look at the issue, because you are a logical sign. You're ruled by Mercury, the intelligent mind. So once the emotions are sort of settled now, and they will get more and more settled as the month progresses, you sort of are able to take a logical stand on how to resolve certain issues that have come up. This is a great time in terms of doing something nice for yourself. Buy something nice for yourself, or just pampering yourself, because it's a time to feel good. When Venus goes direct in our resources house, it's a time when you feel better about your financial resources. You have done a re-evaluation of your financial resources, about your talents, your diet, everything that supports you materially. You sort of have gone through a review process of that since October, and now you sort of have a picture in your mind, especially financially. You have a picture in your mind on where do you stand and how is your financial position supposed to look like going forward. It makes you feel better in terms of your self-esteem. It makes you feel better in terms of doing things for yourself, in terms of pampering yourself a little bit, taking care of yourself a little bit right now. But at the same time, remember the lesson of Venus retrograde, which is to not compromise your self respect in a relationship, which is to not compromise your well being, your health, your interest to some extent in a relationship. You are a very giving sign when it comes to your relationships. And in that, we sometimes compromise our body, our health, our well being. This is the most important lesson that has come out of Venus retrograde, which is that our relationships cannot leech on our health. They cannot leech on our well being. They cannot leech on us focusing on ourselves to some extent, on our well-being. It's very important to take care of yourself before you can take care of the other people in your life. This is the second thing that is happening. I On a mundane level, a couple of things to keep in mind from 16th of November to 6th of December. When Mercury is retrograde, communication does not work well, which means phones, vehicles, flights, computers. There is tech disruption when Mercury goes retrograde, because Mercury rules communication, rules these instruments which help us go from A to B. So just stay flexible. It's a holiday season. A lot of us are traveling between that time. If there are delays that happen, if there are things that are not working on time, just stay flexible. It's holiday season, it's Mercury retrograde, it happens. It's a downtime to some extent. So just be aware that this kind of energy will exist. On 18th of November, we have a beautiful grand water trine in your house of relationships. It urges you to communicate and share so you can heal your relationships. Even around 18th of November, both days, I think they are good in terms of airing things out, in terms of modifying and improving on the relationship. What happens on 19th and 20th of November is that Mars is meeting Jupiter in a square, which is a harsh aspect. So which is sort of a conflict that is happening, but at the same time it is a mental conflict which will help you see both sides of the equation. It might actually enlighten some portion of the conflict that you have not been seeing so far. This is very much true both for your business partnership as well as your personal relationship, your committed relationships. This is a mutable T-square which is forming, which directly involves you, because Mars in Pisces is opposing you. So if you are especially an August born Virgo, or if you have early degree Virgo in your chart, you'll feel this very, very strongly. It is a test of your strength. It's a challenge to you, but accept this challenge because it's a mutable T square. It will change. The situation will change by your hard work, by your investment, by you taking things in your stride, by sort of even engaging in this conflict to some extent. Just don't go over the top because it involves your relationships. You might inadvertently hurt something or say something that cannot be taken back around this time. 19th and 20th of November and around 24th, 25th of November are the dates you need to be careful about what you're saying to your loved ones, because you might hurt them inadvertently, and some of the words that might come out at this time, there is no going back on them. Jupiter is there, so there is a little bit of over the top action that might happen, but at the same time, Jupiter, even if it hits something with a stick, it turns into positivity. That's why I said take this challenge, because it will create awareness of an issue. It will create a resolution, a sort of adjustment will come out of it, where you both will see both sides of the equation. On a mundane level, be careful of cuts and burns, because when Mars opposes you, it can cause a little bit of reckless action, physical reckless action. So around 19th or 20th of November, if you can avoid to drive, or if you can avoid to sort of using of instrument that can cause cuts or burns, just be careful with that. On 22nd of November, Sun moves into Sagittarius. Happy Thanksgiving. We have the sort of three planets sitting in home and family. This is called Thanksgiving, right? So this is family coming together. You might be taking a holiday with your family. You might be taking some time off with your family. After 22nd of November, we have a couple of days completely dedicated and immersed in family discussion. And it's just about feeling good and emotionally supported during this time, working on your emotional foundation so you feel fulfilled. It's like holding a hot cup of cocoa and sitting around with and gathering around with your family. That's the feeling of this time of the year, right? Whenever we have a lot of focus on home and family, the other side always calls, and that's what happens around 23rd or 24th of November when you have a full moon in your career sector. So there's something at work which will call for your attention on 23rd, 24th of November, and it will take about a week or 10 days to resolve. It might go on in the background while you're spending time with your family or while we are traveling with the family, but it will be there and it will need to be dealt with. This is happening at 1 degree Gemini, so this is a start of discovery. This degree is of discovery. So something new, a new dimension of the project that you've been working on might be revealed, or you might need to initiate a new process with an authority figure which needs to be dealt at that moment. And there might be some disagreement with the people you're working with, whether it is your business partner or with the authority figure. There might be some disagreement on how to go about this new dimension which has showed up. But this is needless to say, when a full moon happens in your career sector, the light is on you. So just be careful in terms of how you conduct yourself at this time professionally. Handle that conflict well, because this conflict well handled can really help you speed things up in terms of your career, in terms of your success in the project that you're working on. Mars usually wants to speed things up, so maybe your business partner wants to speed things up, but you want to take a different approach. So there might be a difference in opinion, which might be there. Just work it out. It's happening in mutable signs, so there's chances that whatever is coming to light in terms of your work project right now will undergo certain changes. It will undergo certain iteration as a result of the conflict that comes through right now. There's obviously an element of balancing the home life with the career that will come to light during this full moon, on how well do you balance the two. But the beautiful thing is that you'll feel supported, because on 27th of November we have the best day of the year, because Sun, Mercury and Jupiter, they're coming together for sort of filling up your cup. They're coming together in your home and family sector. This makes you feel very supported. It's an excellent day to have a productive discussion with somebody in your home and family. It's an excellent day to resolve an emotional conflict. And Mercury is currently retrograde, so it's still something that will need resolution. It is something old, an old issue which will require to be handled, but it is an excellent time to do that. And it's also the time when Mercury sort of undergoes a rebirth, and similarly your mind, because Mercury rules you and Mercury rules our intelligent mind, your mind undergoes a positive rebirth. You'll see a flip after 27th or 28th of November. You sort of see a flip in your attitude. You see a flip in how you think about your home and family, and how you think you're being supportive. Some positivity suddenly returns in your life after that. When Mercury becomes a morning star, you sort of feel that you can achieve it. You can achieve the support you want. You can get your family and home life to a level that can support you in this new chapter of life. So it's a very positive time of the year. It will only improve as the month goes by. As regard to the full moon in your career sector, the work project that has come to light, because the ruler of that full moon is retrograde, I feel the resolution of that and the modification in that will happen only in December, around 15th or 16th of December, when Mercury will be revisiting this point of full moon. So the project might need some iterations. Just be prepared for that, and it might come with a little bit of verbal conflicts, certain conflicts in opinion with your partner who's working with you on this project. Just be ready for that. On 30th of November, Venus is meeting Uranus. This is an excellent in terms of financial, because this is a financial opposition. This is a sudden idea or sudden inflow of actual financial progress that is made for you. You have done a long process of going over your financial, going over your budget, figuring out how to make money over the last couple of months. And that is sort of giving you the first fruit of all of that you've been working through. Around 30th of November, you should see a sudden inflow of money. It is an excellent day for trying something new in intimacy as well. So if you're out with your partner, use that for having some excitement in the bedroom as well on 30th of November. But we end the month on excellent positive note because of both your home life as well as your financial sector being lit by the end of the month. So good luck for that, and I'll see you in December. Thank you.